Good morning. Welcome to Keep the Faith with Pastor Frank. It looks like, uh, I have to say this again, it looks like there's some technical issues, but we're just going to keep going. Please let me know when you log on and let me greet you this morning. And then we're going to be talking about Pharaoh's dream out of Genesis chapter 41. So, um, good morning, Sister Janine. It's good to see you online this morning. I pray things are going well for you. And so we're going to be in Genesis chapter 41. We're going to talk about Pharaoh's dreams. Good morning, Brother Lee. Good to see you online. Pray y'all are doing well. It's nice and warm where you are. But so the story is, of course, that Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers. He wound up being placed in and so after he had been there some time, there was a butler and a baker, and they had dreams, and both of those dreams came through. Didn't work out so well for the baker, but the butler had said that he would remember Joseph to the Pharaoh, but forgot it as soon as he got out. And a couple years later, and so Pharaoh. So in verse 14, Genesis chapter 41, I'm going to start to read some. As I said, if you log on, even that things are kind of shaky technologically, say hi and let everybody know you're here, and I'll greet you. And I'm going to read a long past scripture for an early morning devotion, but this is really kind of one of my favorite stories in the Bible. Verse 13, Pharaoh sent for Joseph at once. He was quickly brought from the prison. After he shaved and changed his clothes, he went in and stood before Pharaoh. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream last night, and no one can tell me what it means. But I've heard that when you hear about a dream, you can interpret it. It's beyond my power to do this, Joseph replied, but God can tell you what it means and set you at ease. So Pharaoh told his dream. In my dream, he said, I was standing on the bank of the Nile River, and I saw 7 fat, healthy cows come up out of the river and graze marsh grass. And I saw 7 sick-looking cows, scrawny and thin, come up after them. I've never seen such sorry-looking animals in all of Egypt. These thin, scrawny cows ate 7 fat cows, but afterward you wouldn't have known it, for they were still as thin and scrawny as before. Then I woke up, then I fell asleep and had another dream. This time I saw 7 heads of grain growing on a single stalk. Then 7 more heads of grain appeared, but these blighted, shriveled, and withered by the east wind. And the shriveled heads swallowed the 70 heads. I told these dreams to the magician, but no one could tell me what they mean. Those responded, both of Pharaoh's dreams mean the same thing. I tell him in advance what he is about to do. 7 cows, healthy heads of grain, represent 7 years of 10 scrawny cows that came up later, and the 7 thin heads of wood east wind represent 7 years of famine. This will happen just as for what he is about to do. The next 7 years will be a period of great prosperity throughout the land of Egypt, but afterward there will be 7 years of famine so great that all the prosperity will be forgotten in Egypt. Famine will destroy the land. This famine will be so severe that even the memory of the good years will be erased. As for having two similar dreams, it means that these events have been decreed by God and he will soon make them happen. Therefore, Pharaoh should find an intelligent and wise man in charge of the entire land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh should appoint supervisor land and 1/5 of all the crops during the 7 good years, have all the food produced in the good years that are just ahead, and bring it to Pharaoh's storehouse. Store it away and guard it so there will be food in the cities. That way there will be enough to eat when the 7 years of famine come into the land of Egypt. Otherwise, famine will destroy the land. Joseph's suggestions were well received by Pharaoh and his officials. Pharaoh asked his officials, "Can we find anyone like this man so obviously filled?" Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has revealed the dreams, clearly no one else is as intelligent as wise as you are. In my court, all my people will take orders from you. Only I, sitting on my throne, will have rank higher than yours." Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I hereby put you in charge of the entire land of Egypt." Then Pharaoh removed his signet ring from his hand and placed it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him in fine clothing and hung a gold chain around his neck. So, just a couple of things out of all of this. I know that's a long passage of scripture. It's a cool story. It gets even better as you continue to read it. But here in this story, Joseph starts in prison. He's been in prison for a while, and he is brought out of prison because Pharaoh has a dream that no one has, a couple of dreams that no one can interpret. So a couple of things that I want to mention here, I think it one, God quickly. We can nothing to having quite a bit in just a short period of time. So Joseph went from being in prison to being in charge of Egypt in a matter of hours. And so never forget that God can change our circumstances dramatically or drastically in just a short period of time. So, and another thing that we need to remember is God never forgets where we are. He knows where we are all the time. And even though Joseph was believed God, and you have to see the pieces of the story here, how Joseph, even though he was in prison, he continued to be faithful to God. It turned out that Joseph was the series of events that led Joseph to be put in Pharaoh's prison were all good only, but for the whole land of Egypt. And we need to realize that a lot of times when things happen in our life, we don't understand many times what's happening. We don't understand why things happen. I've had so many people ask me, "Why is this happening in my life?" Well, just understand that a lot of times things happen in our life because God's plan isn't exactly like our plan. And because we generally plan for things in our life to be pleasant, joyful, enjoyable, more equal, uh, uh, um, knowing exactly planned out times, and that purpose can be uh, can, this morning, I exactly where you wanted to be, but there's a pretty good chance that you that God is working something that you may not understand right at the moment. So, like, it always has our and uh, to the people that are out too, and uh, um, and he just got wanted to say, well, in so that God knows where we are. He knows who we are, and He is going. That's what I wanted to share with you this morning. I really don't know how much of this you guys, I'm working with my technology, so, uh, just uh, uh, tell you this morning, this morning, and and uh, things. So all you